people Trump deported, y'all should be proud. Because Trump just said on Fox Live and said the quiet part out loud. Trump just said, I kicked all of them out too fast. We thought once we kicked them out, all the people in urban communities, aka black people, was going to get back in these fields. I know goddamn well Trump didn't think that we was finna get back in the motherfucking fields. So Trump gonna get his ass on goddamn TV talking about he prematurely deported the illegals that was working in the farms.
In breaking news, Brooke Reynolds, the agricultural secretary, said we have to combat the lack of migrant workers by hiring migrant workers. So after the immense push for deportation raids on construction and farms and whatnot, it's now led to a financial crisis, especially for farmers. And the answer, according to the United States government, is to hire migrant workers.
Now Cheeto Puff is saying that he want to bring the immigrants back to the United States because the inner city people, us, are not getting in the field like he thought that we were going to. Y'all really voted for that big soggy Cheeto Puff to sit up here and play Jeopardy with our lives? He is literally playing Jeopardy with the American lives, and y'all sat there and voted for that.
Donald Trump, not in these exact words, but basically admitted this week that a lot of the things that he's been doing, a lot of the policies, a lot of the executive orders that he's been signing off on was all made with the intention of getting black people back into the field. It was made with the intention of getting black people back into the field. Situation with the deportations, migrant workers, the state of America's agriculture, and he made comments on inner city people not doing farm work. I want you to always remember that when they mention inner city, that means black. In Donald Trump's exact words, people that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They've tried. We've tried. Everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. They don't get a bad back because if they get a bad back, they die. He also went on to say that they are very, very, very special people and they cannot be easily replaced.
Just say, I kicked all of them out too fast. We thought once we kicked them out, all the people in urban communities, aka black people, was going to get back in these fields. Trump, what the hell you thought this was? Selma? Hell no, we ain't doing that. Nigga, we'll sell t-shirts on our truck before we do that. I hope that wasn't part of the game plan originally. Trump said, listen, we got to get some of the people from that we kicked out the country back. We got to get them back legally. We'll give them their papers and all. We ain't got no damn farmers. You didn't think about this before you kicked them out? Huh? Listen, the last people who was doing that, their last name was Tubman and shit like that. We ain't into that no more. We got black businesses. We'll figure it out here. Okay, we'll buy a couple stamps. We ain't doing that. Listen, to all the African people, Haitian, Spanish, whoever got kicked out of the country, even people who was doing good in their country in England and British people, listen, he needs y'all back. He ain't think about it. This is your time to get your paperwork together and come back legally so that way nobody can mess with y'all for generations to come, okay? Trump said, listen, I thought about it. I kicked y'all out, but our economy wasn't ready for that. The economy said, oh, wait a minute, nigga. Oh, this ain't that type of party, okay? So now he's working on getting them back. Now, Trump did say some wild stuff about, he asked some farmers what happened if they back break. I'm not even repeating that whole joke because it's kind of crazy. But Trump, I don't think nobody proofread what he got to say. I don't think he read none of this stuff that they tell him to say. I think he just say whatever come to mind. Listen, Trump said he got to get the illegals back so they can be legal, okay? I'm just here to bring y'all the news. I'm just the messenger.
Donald Trump has backtracked.
All right, guys, so welcome to this channel today, and I'm your host, my brothers and sisters. So here is this video where the white folks are actually thinking of what has been happening in the past, and they want to bring that back, and that's taking the blacks back to, should I call it, slavery. And I don't know what is going on in their mind, but the world has evolved. See, they can't expect that what has been happening before is what should happen now, right? So see, the black folks are coming out to actually say no, that they can't be turned to slaves. So some of the white farmers are saying that the blacks should come work for them. See, and amazingly, you see, Donald Trump actually took out some people that they were assumed to come illegally into the country. So now some of those people were those who were working in the farm for some of these farm workers, and amazing, they paid some of them peanuts, you see, and now that they have taken them out, they now need them back. So that's why some of the black folks are coming out to say this, and they are not quite happy, right? Because and they thought that they want the white folks actually thinks of the black, in terms of slaves to them is what is not making sense yet, and the black folks doesn't like this. The black community, they don't like this, right? So I wanted to listen to so many comments of different people concerning this particular topic, right? So if this is the first time my channel, I'm your host Josh, and I would like you to subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be bringing more video to you. And don't forget to share the video too, right? Share your thoughts. Watch this.
In the inner city are not going to take those farm jobs. No. And those undocumented immigrants who are working those jobs, that was their only option to make money in this country. They left, some of them left dangerous countries. They wanted better lives for their children, better education. They just wanted a better life overall. And so they took what they could. And those jobs were modern day slavery, okay? Those people were freaking working 7 days a week, 10-hour days for like $10 an hour in the hot sun, picking fruit. And you thought those people aren't doing that because they think that that's a good pay. And you thought, people who are legal citizens were gonna go do that. You could make more money at McDonald's or fast food. I would join the military before I did that, to be honest. And what I've peeped about these businesses that used to employ undocumented workers, like farmers, some construction companies, other small businesses, they can't even afford to pay more than what they were paying. Y'all can't even afford to pay really a livable wage, a wage that, somebody who is a citizen would accept for the type of work that you're asking for, but you voted against your own interest. I hope that, all of these undocumented immigrants who are going to make their way back, I hope they realize you have power. And right now, the power is in your hands. And don't go back for them pennies, okay? You have a lot of leverage right now. And y'all, like I said, being racist is so expensive.
What?
We have some big news right now. The Trump administration is now turning to migrant farm workers to address farm labor shortages, according to the New York Times. No, I'm not making this up. After conducting mass deportation of said migrant farm workers at the beginning of his second term, they're now trying to get them back, essentially. So the Trump administration is now turning to an alternative source, making it cheaper for farmers to hire immigrant farm workers on temporary visas. These changes specifically impact the H-2A visa program. And under the new changes, the Trump administration, has now adjusted how wages paid to H-2A farm workers are calculated, essentially lowering the hourly rates anywhere from $1 to $7 in some states. And farm owners can now include housing as part of the compensation package provided to guest farm workers. They're reducing wages of farm workers in an effort to try to hire more migrant farm workers. That's brought a lawsuit from the Farm Workers of America saying that essentially it adversely harms American farm workers by lowering their wages or pushing them out of the labor pool entirely.
That's called sharecropping. If y'all don't know what sharecropping is, sharecropping was a post-Civil War agricultural system in the U.S. South where landowners allowed tenants, primarily former enslaved black people and poor whites, to use land in exchange for a share of the crops produced. It replaced slavery but trapped many in a cycle of poverty and debt slavery. The arrangement, landowners provided land, housing, tools, seed, and supplies while tenants provided the labor. Tenants often had to purchase necessities like food and clothing on credit from the landowner at a high interest rates, using their future crops as collateral. Slavery under another name. High interest rates and low crop prices often meant workers never cleared their debt, forcing them to remain on the land year after year. It's an old playbook, but they revamped it and changed some of the characters. You did this whole thing, mass deporting all of these migrant workers. So now they don't want to go to work because they're afraid that if they go to work, here comes your Gestapo. Now you're telling them, those who have left, come back under this visa. We gonna pay you $1 to $7 below the minimum, below the minimum wage in America, the farmers get to pay you between $1 and $7 a fucking hour, and they may or may not give you housing. But I'm sure if they give you housing, they're gonna take that off of your pay. Sharecropping. Food? You need food? No problem. We'll give you $50 to go get groceries, but you gotta work 100 hours to pay us back. This is the same fucking shit. Oh my God. When will you guys listen to black people? When will you study what black people have been studying? We know the colonizers. They're using the same playbook. They're changing the characters, changing up the wording, but it's the same shit they've been doing to black people forever in this country. And for some reason, y'all just won't listen to black people. This is the same thing. This is called sharecropping. Wow.
Donald Trump started pushing this narrative that white South Africans were super oppressed and were being violently attacked, and their farms were being robbed and taken over by black people. And because he said that, he needed people to buy into his political publicity stunt. And so he told white Africans that they could move to the United States and become citizens. And he did just that. He brought thousands over. These people denounced their South African citizenship to take American citizenship. And now they're realizing that America is filled with guns and violence, and they want to go home. You think I'm kidding? Thousands have already asked their government of South Africa to take them back. And the government of South Africa has a backlog of people trying to come back home. This reminds me of the time when Donald Trump sent a violent militia out into the streets of America to round up the brown people, the worst of the worst. And all he ended up doing was arresting people who were working in fields with legitimate work visas, arresting people who were here on legitimate asylum claims, only to turn around and say, oh shit, I kind of screwed over all the farmers, the people who voted for me. And now he's begging those who were able to leave without getting arrested and detained to please come back and work in our fields, because the fat, sloppy white Americans are too lazy to do the job you've been doing this whole time.
What else can we help you with now that we took care of the immigration issue? Can you bring them back? What? We need more workers. Apparently Americans don't want to do the jobs that immigrants were doing. But you've already spent billions on deporting them. It costs $18,000 to deport one person. Dang. Appreciate you paying taxes. So how much does it cost to undeport? That's not possible. Well, you gotta do something. There's a labor shortage. Okay, I guess we could make it easier for immigrants to come work here with the H-2A visa. That was an option? Yeah, but it will cause more immigrants to come into the US, allow us to exploit workers, and lower wages for American workers. Why don't you just legalize the undocumented immigrants that are already here? That way they can work and pay taxes legally. We obviously need them, cause then we wouldn't be able to blame immigrants for everything. Also, ICE detention centers are making hundreds of millions in profit. It's a big business. Things haven't gotten cheaper since these mass deportations started, now that I think about it. Matter of fact, everything's gotten more expensive. Just be thankful you have a job. You're welcome. Actually, I just filed for bankruptcy. Oh, you're still my guy though. Make farmers great again.
Now Cheeto Puff is saying that he want to bring the immigrants back to the United States because the inner city people, us, are not getting in the field like he thought that we were going to. Y'all really voted for that big soggy Cheeto Puff to sit up here and play Jeopardy with our lives? He is literally playing Jeopardy with the American lives, and y'all sat there and voted for that. What did this man really think was getting ready to happen? You gathering enough people to go snatch people off the streets, taking them out the fields. Now stuff starting to fall, produce not being produced. Now you want to bring them back. You're going to have to pay them to bring them back. Do you know how you embarrass them folks, snatching them off the streets, throwing them in vans, throwing them in cars, putting stuff over their head? They don't know where they're going, throwing them in these camps, mistreating them, and now you want to bring them back? This is your president, right?
We have an agriculture labor shortage.
All right, so this was quite amazing watching these several clips of people sharing their thoughts concerning the fact that Donald Trump actually, deporting some of the black people and now wanting them back is not good. And the amazing, or the part that is so disturbing here, where many blacks are actually complaining about, is actually, so the part that is actually disturbing here is the fact that many of the whites actually want these blacks to come back, and this is because of the many peanuts that they have been given to them. I'm going to give you an example. So what happened is this, some of the clips I brought to you, I've explained some of these things where, some of the black immigrants, when they come into the country, you know, some of them don't have houses to stay, they don't have places to stay. So some of these white folks will say, okay, come work in my farm, and then they'll pay them the low minimum wages, all right, because they don't have a place to stay, and then they'll give them places to stay. And in a situation where the person has somewhere to stay, but maybe doesn't have food, see, so they keep using the black, you know, and this is the blacks are saying this is another name for slavery. You are putting us under slavery. And you see, some of these white folks are so lazy, they don't want to do it, right? They don't want to do the work that many of the blacks do, but yet they treat them very badly. See, treat them so very badly. It was so embarrassing that many of them were being deported the way they did, and yet they still want them back. Why? Why do they want them back? So that they can actually come and then work for them, and work for them, right? So the blacks are actually saying we don't like that, and we are not ready to continue in that road. See, so I have several things that I would have brought to you, but I want to keep some of the videos for later, right? So share your thoughts on what you think about some of these things that the white folks or are doing, and why you think that it is actually right that the black community complains that this is not right. They can't keep treating them like this. And many of these black community or black folks, they actually help in building the country, but being treated the way many of them are being treated is not what is something to write home about or talk about. Many of them desire to go home, or many of them left their country coming to many of these places because they wanted to be able to feed those back home, but they are being treated the way uh, you see today. Like I said, share your thoughts on what you think concerning some of this complaint. And don't forget, if this is your first time on my channel, hit the subscribe button, subscribe, like today's video. And of course, I'll be bringing you more video. And I really, really would like that you share this video. See you in my next video. Bye.